Part two, guys. It's getting lighter, so I can't call it a lighter dark log, but maybe I could. Dark and bedroom log. Okay, it's still the what about the 12th? I think 12th May. It's Tuesday morning, and it's well after 17 after 6 in the morning. It's coffee time. Diary of the Griever named John Weaver, which is me. Okay, so I was talking about spirituality. I was talking about religion. I was talking about Christian nationalism, politics, and social media and all this stuff. I had been talking about that in the first one. So I'm still trying to examine my own spirituality, my own religion, my own understanding of what it is to be a Christian or versus a Christian nationalist or whatever they call them. And what people had called for years, trying to follow the lessons of Christ, they started calling themselves Christians because they followed the lessons of Christ. What Christ was teaching them through the lessons, they're being interpreted one way and another way, another way, another way throughout these books. But it still comes up the same way. Treat the neighbor, treat the stranger not as an enemy, but as a friend. Someone in need, you help. Someone who has an issue, you try to solve. You try to be part of. You're not doing it to be domineering, you're doing it to help, to demonstrate humanity. I mean, the New Testament was basically about humanity. But the first one was about ego and survival and resources. If I want to look at the Bible in that one particular form and fashion, because to me that's the only interpretations I can understand in my own particular viewpoint. I know what death is. I've been there, done that. Don't like it. I mean, yes, it is intense, it is beautiful, but I'll tell you, it scares the hell out of people, especially when your brain starts figuring the shit out after you get reformed back in this moral coil. That something of that intense nature is beyond the chemicals, beyond the neurons can figure out. And you're stuck with the feelings that cannot be resolved. The pleasure center is still on, and still trying to understand the intense feelings of being out of body and exhibiting the light. It doesn't have to be a Christian light, it's the light. And if you're part of that light, it's something. You want a taste of it, it's something. But for everybody else who's a ghost, we're bogged down with our fears, our phobias, our angers, and everything else that we threw out there. It's worse than seeing something like out of Charles Dickens novels. Worse. Seeing the dead walk around who can't deal with anything but their own grief, their own thoughts, and weighed down and have no way of getting lifted up. Christmas Carol was a horrible thing to read concerning about spirituality and about ghosts. Because in the portion where it's talking about you being confronted by your own misdeeds and how they can weigh down and the after effects of it. And if that wasn't bad enough, Dante's Inferno, Dante's stories concerning about spirituality in that particular form and fashion, which doesn't conform or comply enough with the Bible or any of the holy relics that we had out there in the first place. Yeah, I came across them. I came across those stories in my readings for the past, I don't know how many decades. In the recent 10 or 20 or something like that somewhere. Yeah, Dante's Inferno, Purgatory, and then the other is concerned about Dante's Heaven or something like that. I don't know. But it is still something of a journey But comparing that to the Holy Bible, oh boy. See, in the first portion of the Holy Bible, they're talking about the Old Testament. They're talking about kingdoms. They're talking about people going after each other, trying to figure out which is the right way of celebrating God, which is not the right way of celebrating God, which is the right way of worshiping God. You're not worshiping the right way. Bam, bam, bam. I get to beat you up. I can take away stuff. This is what God tells me to do. We get the Pharisees and they're trying to tell us what we're supposed to think and feel and everything else. Can't even go through that one. We get the empires coming up. Doesn't matter if you slap a label on the damn thing. It's still an empire. It's still a way of dominating and domineering. Be dominant. And then the New Testament is trying to break away of that. Break away from the things, the feelings, the fears, the phobias, the anger, the frustration, the rage. Someone else is controlling. And this is what we're dealing with. Jump it millenniums to where we are right now. We're still seeing too much of it. We blame others for not being this way or not following this way, and yet we demonstrate the wrong way. We're supposed to be following our religious teachings of how we're supposed to be treating people with respect. Well, I'll show you respect. Here's a weapon. I'm going to beat the crap out of you with it, or I'm going to do this to you or do that to you with it. You got to follow me, or else I say so. Or else I'm just going to go blithering nuts on you, or whatever you're going to be saying to the person in the first place. It's like my own damn dreams I have when I have people of force trying to tell me what I have to be and have to be afraid of them all the damn time. I start getting pissed off and I start beating on them, and they're not flesh and blood, they're stone. They're stone. And they're just standing there immobile, like in shock, because I managed to say no forcefully in my dreams. And now wake up. And I'm right back where I am, right back in my bed. What gets to me is when I started getting into those kind of habits. I'm looking at social media to see how people have lost lost their minds, lost their heart. They've lost, period. And they're trying to force people into things. I've got young kids going after the senior citizens left and right as they're losing their nuts, even after we've elected some of them as our fearless leaders. But they're more fearful than anything else because their mortality is in front. Well, I can tell you about mortality. Every single second, every single day, every single year, we're living it. We'll lose it, or we keep it for a short time. And I can tell you, as a kid, going through death, scares the hell out of me. Open heart operation. Then you're leaving with this weird ass feeling and thought patterns that stretches out throughout my lifetime. So when I'm seeing these old farts out there yelling and screaming at each other about this and that, we should be, I'm like, shut up and just deal with the rest of your life. And I got the kids freaking out left and right saying, well, the adults are doing this and the adults are doing that. I'm like, well, you shut the fuck up and deal with your own fucking life. Shit, come on. They're old, they're tired, they're trying to control things so their future generations can do stuff. But no, they're trying to get their own fucking legacy, their own mentality, their own dementia settled out. The older we get, the more deteriorated our brains are becoming. It's how it is. Now, either we self-destruct early in life, or in the middle of life, or we self-destruct at the end of life. It's not a way of thinking. It's not a philosophy. It's life. But I've got these old farts out there who keep forcing shit down people's throats. They want it the old way. They want it what they've read, what they thought they believed in, and thought it was going to be all right. Jesus, are they dumber and shit. Sorry, Lord Almighty, Almighty. So I can't stand. Can't stand it. I got people trying to do analysis on a lot of things. Okay, how about just live with life? Screw the damn analysis, just get on with life, shit. We humans are stuck looking backwards. We got a head that looks forward with our eyesights, going whatever kind of direction that we're pointing our skulls at. Our skulls have two holes that have eyeball organs that feed visualizations into the damn squishy organ called the brain. We got our five senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. My touch is going out. I got neuropathy in my hands. That's gonna be fucked up right there. Sight, I can see, but it's always been fucked up. I've been close up all my life. I have to deal with glasses to dealing with faraway vision. Hearing, well, it hasn't deteriorated yet. Smell, well, I can smell still. I just get used to scents, that's all. What is it? Did I cover it all, Fiverr? That's it. Touch, smell, eyes, hearing. Taste, okay. Taste change. Taste buds change for me. What seemed to be unpleasurable a long time ago, mixed in with other stuff, I can deal with it as an adult. But they always called the sixth sense, and that would have been the, I don't know, senses that you don't have an organ to check things out, but somehow your spirit does. So call that the sixth sense at this point. I'm going to have people teach me about, or try to teach me about what morality is according to their own religious idea and ideology and bring up. How they were raised. How they were taught. And how we should follow them. My question is, why? Why am I following you? Because I say so. Oh, because your fucking ego said so. Not mine. Mine, I already got something. It's wandering aimlessly. Wandering aimlessly in the desert of everybody. And the desert is full of us idiots who don't know what the hell we're doing. But I'm wandering aimlessly along you guys. And everybody's trying to organize because your sense of will, because you don't want to be alone. We are a communal group of people. We have to have communities. We have to have groups to deal and survive. Part of our ego and part of our resources. That's some things I've been learning all along in my life. We have our books to teach us morality, but we have to have physical examples around us, and they conflict with each other. So we teach one way from a book or two, and yet we beat the shit out of people left and right, or kill them. We're doing great, aren't we? If these videos ever get survived, I mean, if they actually survive throughout the ages, I don't even know how future generations, or if any generations, would look at us, look at our time periods, and see whether or not we actually were crazy or not, depending upon whose particular identification of what sanity is supposed to be in the first place. You want to talk to me about sanity? Check yours at the mirror there. You can smile in the mirror. Maybe you're doing okay. If you're growling and grousing at it, well, I don't know. Are you okay or not? And what are you going against? Well, how about living in a society that we have to have drugs? Not drugs to cure our body, but screw up our brains so much that we have to be dependent upon these damn things for our livelihood, our mental well-being, and if we can't get enough of them, we're going to go dying on them, or go insane. We must have it. We must. Why? Because we're taught that way. We must have this. or dealing with society keeps lying to itself and brainwashing people left and right. You must follow this way because we want you to follow this way, because we tell you to, because we. Ego, ego, ego. Yeah, hell of a thing for me to go ranting and raving this morning, isn't it? And when I see other people trying to rant and rave and trying to make money off of the damn shit, I'm like, okay. You make your money that way. Me, I'm surviving with what I got on. I'm not going to be basing my own insanity that I'm pushing upon people, that I'm demonstrating if I've got any knowledge or insanity to give them at this point. I'm not going to say, well, guys, because I shared this with you, can I get money out of you? Please, I want money from you. I want to share my insanity with you at this point. And I want your money, and I want your joy, and I want everything out of you. I want to dominate. You will listen to me because my ego says so. Turn into a character at that point. I got things I have to do for myself. Things I have to do today that I gotta get it done. Because things will happen tomorrow and things will happen the next day. But today, they're just getting started. Or they've been started and I'm just catching up on it right now. The old farts will say what they'll say. I'm an old fart, I'll say what I say. And it's going to be up to the youth to decide whether or not if we actually have anything intelligent that they can absorb and use into their own context. Because as far as I'm concerned, and as I perceived, we listened to the elders growing up, and we thought they were wise until we thought they were just foolish idiots. As we got older, we knew they were foolish idiots. Until we became foolish idiots. And we're trying to tell the youth how things are supposed to be. And they're looking at us either with awe and wisdom, or else they're seeing us as, okay, let's put these people in padded cells until they pass on. It's like this conveyor belt we're coming. I mean, we're already created, put on the conveyor belt, going through a hell of a lot of things in life, and then there's the fall off. Replace. Hell of a way to think about things. Well, we're supposed to be sharing our knowledge and wisdom with others, or our insanity and our lack of comprehension over things. Don't look at me as a guru, guys. I'm a guy spouting off his own insanity to people. I'm a guy sharing my own observations with a hell of a lot of people. We all observe in different ways. We all observe at different times in different forms and formats. And we all share that. Now, whether or not we buy the other guy's bullshit or not, that's going to be up to us. Whether or not we actually have it resonating in us is if it's truth or not truth. If it's not truth, we don't buy the shit. But if it is something we're listening to, then we can accept that particular context and see whether or not if we can put us through a lot of mental tests in our head. And if we haven't figured it out, that it may be, run with it. When it comes down for religion, when it comes down for faith, this is up to the individual at this point. You can shove as much secularism and literature down a person's throat and mind. It's in their own sixth sense, their own soul, that if they have the experiences, then they know. I don't know what kind of experiences they'll have. There's no way of determining it. Mine, I had it at 4 years old, open heart surgery. I'd been died, and it's boom, boom, boom. Stay there. Stay there in the body, okay? You've already been up about 3 times already. You're not going to go up again. You got more to go, and more to grow, and more to learn. So just stay right there. You're not coming back up just yet. I mean, that was the kind of force of it. That was the kind of force I had to deal with. But the thing is, I experienced it before any of the theology got into my head. Someone else has learned wisdom of what they learned about spirituality, about faith, about anything else. No, I had to learn it the hard way. So it doesn't make me unique. It just makes me a survivor to telling survival stories. Anyway, I had to get this stuff off my chest. I'm hearing everybody else losing their damn nuts. Their walnuts are cracking inside their skulls right now, rattling around. Whatever they want to call faith, that's up to them. Don't shove it down my throat. You won't want to hear about mine. I'll contradict your ass like crazy. My ego versus your ego. We'll battle over resources. The two things we fight over. We fight over our own damn screwed up heads, and we fight what's limited on this planet. That's how it is. That being said,